Most UPSC aspirants work really hard, but not all of them succeed. You're also a serious aspirant, and I'm sure you also work really hard, but not all of you are going to succeed. And there is good reason behind this. Well, the aspirants who are going to succeed have these three things in their preparation. Okay, these three things are the most important things in your UPSC preparation. If any one of these things are missing, well, you won't succeed no matter how hard you have worked. You might have worked the hardest in the entire country, but if one of these three things are missing in your preparation, you won't succeed. Take a look at all the toppers that you have seen, whose videos you have seen on YouTube, whose stories you have listened to, all the UPSC toppers, okay? Now, all these UPSC toppers might have had different strategy. They might have studied from different institutes. They might have referred to different notes, different study material, okay, different timetable. They would have had different strategies. But all UPSC aspirants or all UPSC toppers have these three things in common. Okay, if they have succeeded in getting a rank in UPSC examination, they must have performed these three things. That is why I call these three things as the holy trifecta. Trifecta because it is three things, and holy because, well, it is sacred for all UPSC aspirants. You have to treat it as sacred. Okay, so you should also follow these three things in your preparation. No matter where you are studying from, what material you are studying from, okay, it doesn't matter. But these three things should be a part of your UPSC timetable or preparation strategy. So what are these three things? What is this holy trifecta? Let's talk about this. You see, the biggest problem about UPSC preparation is that the syllabus is quite vast, and the time period in which you have to cover the syllabus is also quite vast. You require at least a year, right? And the syllabus is extremely vast. Now, when these situations are there, well, you are bound to get directionless in between your preparation, okay? There are some days in your UPSC preparation where you feel directionless. You are studying, you are practicing questions, but you have this nagging feeling at the back of your mind whether what you're doing is correct or not, whether the direction you have taken is correct or not, whether it is the right time to practice questions or you should focus more on studying. Okay, there are these questions that are at the back of your mind. You feel directionless and you feel that whatever you are studying won't help you at all because you're not studying these things properly, right? These things do happen. You do get directionless because the syllabus is vast and the time period is also vast. Now, in this situation or in situations like these, well, a good, intelligently designed timetable definitely helps. Because what does an intelligent timetable do? Okay, the thing is that timetable basically relieves you of this panic that whether you're in the right direction or not. All you have to do is just follow your timetable blindly. Whatever tasks are written in your timetable, you just have to follow them blindly. And you are assured of this fact that whatever you're doing is the right path, is the right direction. That's what an intelligent timetable does. Now, I know what most of you are thinking, okay? Some of you are thinking, yes, we already know that timetable is important, all these things. But the actual thing is, well, do you really know the importance of timetable? Because most of you just know this, but you haven't digested this fact seriously. Timetable is the most important thing because it is the only thing that helps you avoid getting directionless. It is very important. Okay. Now, there is no one good timetable. What most of you do is that you study one topper's timetable, okay? You are inspired by one topper, you take his timetable and blindly follow his or her timetable and apply that in your daily routine. That happens, okay? That many of you do this, but many of you are guilty of doing this. Because let me tell you, if you take a look at the timetables of all the toppers, okay, they would have different timetables. There is no one good timetable. Every person has a different perfect timetable. Okay, you might have copy pasted that one topper's timetable, but maybe that timetable doesn't work for you. Okay, because we all have different circumstances. Some of you are preparing for UPSC while you're also working. Okay, you're on your 9 to 5 job. Some of you are in college. Some of you are free, okay, sitting at home. Yet you have different circumstances, different time, different commitments. Every person has unique set of circumstances. Therefore, every person's timetable is bound to be different. Let me tell you, all toppers have different timetables. So how can you blindly follow one topper's timetable and succeed? Okay. Therefore, right at the beginning of your preparation, you should sit with a mentor of yours or with an expert and design an intelligent timetable. Okay. And once you have designed your intelligent timetable, just follow it blindly. So the question is how to create a good intelligent timetable which you can follow blindly. Well, let me give you a few hints. Okay. Well, every good timetable has two basic ingredients. Okay, two main ingredients. These two things should be there if your timetable has to work for you. Okay. Number one is long-term goals and number two is daily routine. Okay. Long-term goals, daily routine or daily habits. Now let me unpack this for you. First, let's talk about long-term goals. Okay. You see, your timetable should be designed in such a way that you achieve all your long-term goals. I'll explain this with an example. Okay. Right now it might be a little confusing. So let me give you this example. The thing is, let's suppose you have decided that in the next 3 months, you will cover polity, you will cover economics, and you will also cover, well, these 3 months current affairs. Okay, let's suppose you have decided this. This is your long-term goal. And along with that, you have also decided that you would have practiced 1000 MCQs and written 100 mains practice answers. Let's suppose this is your goal list. These are your long-term goals for 3 months. Now, your job is to divide these goals on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. So again, let's continue with this example. You have decided to cover polity and economics in the next 3 months. So you will keep 1.5 months for polity, 1.5 months for economics. Let's suppose you decided to start with polity. So you will divide your entire polity syllabus into 6 weeks. You will divide your targets for every week. In week 1, you will cover polity till fundamental rights. In week 2, you would have covered till parliament, like that. And then once you have decided your targets for 1 week, then you have to decide your daily targets. Okay. On Monday, you will cover preamble. On Tuesday, you will cover citizenship and so on and so forth. And on Sunday, well, you would practice 50 MCQs and write 5 mains answers. This is your timetable. Every week, every day is mapped, but you have a long-term goal. Now you are assured that if you follow this timetable blindly, you would have covered polity and economics by the end of 3 months. You would have practiced 1000 MCQs. You would have covered your current affairs and you would have practiced more than 100 mains practice answers, right? All these 3 things are there. So long-term goals are important and breaking them down is very important. So this is ingredient number 1. Now let's talk about ingredient number 2, which is daily routine and daily habit. And this is very important because many aspirants struggle with this. You see, even if you have designed a very good timetable, properly broken down on a daily basis, still many aspirants find it hard to keep up with that timetable. Still many aspirants struggle to follow this timetable. And there is a good reason behind this. Well, in this day and age of smartphones, social media and internet, you're bound to get distracted. Okay? And you do get distracted. Let's not joke about this, or who are we kidding? We do get distracted. There are so many distractions. Now, how to basically avoid these distractions? Well, what you should do is that you should freeze certain time periods of your day for certain activities. I'll give you an example. Let's suppose you have decided that 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. you will practice 20 MCQs and 5 mains answers or 2 mains answers. Okay, irrespective of the target. Okay, you have frozen 9 to 10 a.m. Then you have frozen 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'm just giving an example, okay? Don't follow it literally because all of you have different circumstances. Just an example. Let's suppose from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. you have decided to study, okay? Study your polity, economics, environment, whatever. Let's suppose you have frozen 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. for current affairs. You have divided each part of your day. You have frozen your time, okay? And this is important. I'll tell you why. The thing is that smart people say, experts say, scientists say that if you practice certain actions for 21 days together on the trot, okay, for 21 days, if you practice certain actions at the same time of your day, well, those things become a habit of yours. And once they become a habit of yours, it's really very difficult to get distracted from that habit. For example, whenever you wake up, you brush your teeth, right? Now, that is a habit that you have developed by doing this action repeatedly every day. At the same time, whenever you wake up, you brush your teeth. It has become such an integral part of your life that the day you don't brush your teeth properly or you don't brush your teeth on time, you feel a little weird, right? So make practicing MCQ, studying a part of your daily routine, a daily habit, and you can do that by continuously doing it repeatedly for 21 days at least, okay, for 21 days at least, and freeze a particular time period for that. It will really work wonders for you, okay? Do this. Otherwise, you won't be able to follow your timetable no matter how intelligently designed it is. This is really important. So, two basic ingredients: long-term goals and daily habits. Now, one more thing before we conclude this trifecta number one, and that is, well, your timetable should also be flexible, okay? Because throughout this 1 year of preparation, there will be circumstances where you can't follow your timetable, okay? Maybe there is a marriage at home, maybe your health deteriorates, you can't study, or n number of things can happen. So your timetable should be flexible enough to accommodate these things, right? It shouldn't be that rigid. And take the help of an expert to flexibly reorient your timetable whenever any of these events occur, any of these distractions occur, okay? And the second thing is, well, it will be easier for you to follow this timetable if there is a third person who is keeping track of your preparation, who asks you on a frequent basis, what have you covered today? What have you covered in the past week? Have you covered this? No, you're not doing it right. You're doing it wrong. You need a proper, continuous personal mentor, okay, who would keep a track, who would keep you accountable. So if for 2 continuous days you haven't followed your timetable, he will scold you, he or she, okay? You need a mentor. So basically, long story cut short, you need a mentor. First of all, to design your timetable properly, to make it flexible according to your circumstances, and third, to keep you accountable. This is very important. Without this, nobody can succeed. Let me assure you of that. The second thing is, well, UPSC exam is not about studying. Let me break this to you. Yes, whenever you think about UPSC preparation, you think about its vast syllabus and you think about all the books, all the notes that you have to study, and you think studying is the most challenging part, right? So all your time is going to go in studying. But let me break this to you. UPSC is not about studying, okay? If in your UPSC preparation you only focused on studying, you will not crack this exam. Now the thing is that if you are a UPSC aspirant, you will find advisors at every nook and corner of this country. There are so many people to advise you, and everyone gives you almost wrong advices, okay? Whenever you are studying for UPSC, someone would come and say, why are you reading Lakshmikant? Read DD Basu. Then if you're preparing for economics, someone would say, why are you reading economic survey from this? Read from this. Why are you following Bipin Chandra? Follow Spectrum for history. There are all sorts of people who are there to distract you, make you insecure that you're studying the wrong material, right? And you always focus on studying. If you have read Bipin Chandra, you will also read Spectrum so that you don't miss out. Well, the thing is, UPSC exam is not about studying. If you're just studying, you won't crack this exam. But yes, there is one thing that you have to do along with little bit of studying, which will definitely increase your chances of success, and that is practicing questions. Yes, if you don't practice enough questions, whether they are MCQs or mains practice questions, you won't crack this exam. No matter how much you have studied, no matter how much of the internet you have studied, you might have gotten everything written on the internet in your mind. Still, you won't be able to crack this exam if you have not practiced enough MCQs and practiced enough mains answer writing. And mains answer writing is special because it is a skill in itself. Okay, it is a different skill altogether. UPSC is one of those unique exams. Okay, one of those unique exams in which you have to solve MCQs as well as you have to write subjective answers, and both require different strategy. And if you do not practice this skill, if you do not hone these skills, MCQs as well as mains answer writing practice, well, you won't clear this exam. And especially this is true for mains answer writing, because I've seen so many aspirants who have so much knowledge, yet they cannot crack mains because they don't have the skill to write good answers in good structure. You need to practice mains answer writing on a daily basis and get them evaluated on a daily basis. You need to get those answers evaluated on a daily basis so that you can improve little by little every day. Right? Now, here is my formula. Okay? Here is my formula, what you should follow. Now, you might be thinking, I know what kind of questions are coming to your mind. So, how many MCQs should we practice on a daily basis? How many mains questions should we practice on a daily basis? Right? These things are coming in your mind. So, here is my formula. Okay? You can follow this formula. Okay? You should practice number 1, 10 MCQs every day. And these MCQs can be sourced from mixed things like current affairs as well as the static subject you're studying. But 10 MCQs every day. You have to practice 3 mains questions, mains type questions every day and get them evaluated every day. You have to give a 50 MCQ test every week. You have to give 5 mains questions test every week. You have to give 100 MCQ test, full prelims test every month. You have to give at least 10 questions mains test every month. Okay? If you do this, okay, if you do this consistently, well, by the end of 1 year, you would have practiced more than 5,000 MCQs from your entire syllabus. You would have practiced more than 1,000 mains questions. Okay? And I'm saying that without including the test series you will join at the end of your preparation. Okay? Test series MCQs or questions are not included in this. 5,000 questions excluding your test series and revision. Okay? Do this. If you would have done this, then your chances of clearing this exam are brighter than most people. Because most aspirants are focused only on studying, gathering enough knowledge. But extra knowledge will never help you. Okay? You need a minimum knowledge level. Okay? Minimum threshold. You need this minimal amount of knowledge, but you have to practice a lot of questions. That's what's required in UPSC. Not this extra knowledge. Okay? They are not looking for PhD candidates, PhD in polity, PhD in economics. They're not looking for them. That is why keep your knowledge to a level. Knowledge is important, studying is important, don't get me wrong. But increase your question practice. Okay? Whether it's MCQs or mains. Do that. It is very important. This exam is not about studying. This exam is about practicing questions. Now let's talk about the last and the most important thing about this trifecta. And that thing is called conceptual clarity. Do you know this, that CBSE is now experimenting with open book exams for class 9, class 10th, class 11th, class 12th students? Yes, they are now trying to experiment with this open book exams. And this is in line with National Education Policy or New Education Policy 2020. And the reason why they are doing this is because what experts have found in India is that most students basically focus more on memorizing things, memorizing concepts, and they don't focus much on understanding these concepts. Many Indian students lack conceptual clarity, though they have memorized almost everything and they are scoring well in their exams. But as far as conceptual clarity is concerned, they don't do very well. And that is a problem in Indian students. That is a huge problem. That is why CBSE is focusing more on open book exams. National education policy is focusing more on open book exams because we want our students to have conceptual clarity rather than having this memorization skill, okay, that you memorize everything. This is the focus of educationists in India. Now, if this is the focus of CBSE, if this is the focus of national education policy, don't you think this would be the focus of UPSC as well? For the past 5 years, I've been noticing this, and many people have been noticing this. And that is that UPSC has stopped asking questions which are related to memory, and they have started asking questions which are related to conceptual clarity. And this happens in both prelims as well as mains. Okay, now UPSC focuses more on your conceptual clarity rather than on how much you have memorized. Because UPSC also knows that once you become bureaucrats, all this information would be available to you on Google, on ChatGPT, right? Whether you understand these things or not, this is something that UPSC is seeking in all these aspirants. And that is why they have started designing questions which check your conceptual clarity. But as students, we have this inertia, because this inertia is carried forward from our education system. We have this inertia of memorizing first. And this is what we all do. Okay, we all focus more on memorizing. But times have changed. UPSC has changed. Okay, they are now focusing more on conceptual clarity. And don't get me wrong, you do have to memorize some things, but you have to shift this mindset of yours. Change this mindset of yours. And to do that, again, you need a mentor. Okay, because if you're in touch with your mentor every now and then you can ask your doubts. You must have read the definition of GDP, you must have memorized the definition of GDP, but you didn't understand it. Okay, so you can ask your mentor in your doubt session with him or her. Okay, what is GDP? Please explain to me this term GDP in simplest of simplest terms, right? You can do this. For that, you need to be in constant touch with your mentor, but focus more on conceptual clarity. Clear? So this is the holy trifecta. It seems simple, but rarely many UPSC aspirants apply all these three things in their preparation. Now the question is, how to apply these three things in your preparation? What can you do so that this holy trifecta is part of your UPSC preparation and your chances of succeeding in this exam become extremely bright? So if you want to make this trifecta a part of your UPSC preparation, well, I have just the right solution for you. And that is my UPSC Gurukul batch. Well, in this batch, all these three things would be taken care of. Okay. Now, as soon as you'll register for this batch, you will have a one-on-one mentorship session with me. We will have our first session together, and over there, I'll be asking you a few questions, try to understand you. Okay, and then I will create a personalized timetable for you that will take care of your needs. And as per that timetable, you will start to get lectures, notes, and you have to follow that blindly. As soon as you get your timetable, you just have to follow my advice religiously. And rest assured, you're on the right path. Now, the lectures you will get will be as per your timetable, okay? Or, well, the notes that you'll get will be as per your timetable. By the way, you just have to follow our notes. You don't have to follow any other book. Okay, just follow our notes. Those notes are designed in a comprehensive manner. We have taken all the good material from all the books available for UPSC and put them in our notes. So you don't have to go outside our notes. Okay, just follow those lectures. Just follow those notes properly. And yes, If you'll have any doubts with respect to that, any lecture, any notes, well, every week we will have, and not just once every week, twice every week, we will have these doubt sessions. You'll have these doubt sessions either with me or with other teachers that would be teaching you. Okay, but you will have these frequent doubt sessions so that you get the conceptual clarity. That conceptual clarity is important. If you don't understand anything, ask it. Okay, ask it from us. We will stay in touch with you constantly. Plus, I will also stay in touch with you constantly because, like I said, you need a good mentor to follow that timetable, which we discussed about in trifecta number 1, right? I will be in constant touch with you so as to make sure that your timetable is flexible enough to take care of your other circumstances. Okay, I will make sure that you're accountable to the timetable also. I will constantly be asking you, what have you covered today? What have you covered in the past week? Why didn't you cover this? Why didn't you cover that? I will keep you accountable. Okay, this will go on, and your timetable will be intelligently designed. Your notes are intelligently designed. Your lectures are intelligently designed so that you focus more and more on conceptual clarity. Okay, and one more thing, trifecta number 2, practice questions. We will bombard you with practice questions. We will bombard you with practice tests. And the reason why I'm saying bombard you is because you need to be bombarded. Like I said before, it's not about studying that much. It's about how many questions you have practiced. With us, you would have practiced a lot of MCQs, a lot of mains answer writing. Okay, so that by the time you are appearing for your exams, you won't feel the difference. Okay, you would have practiced so many MCQs, so many mains questions that the exam would be a little bit of a cakewalk for you. Okay, so start with UPSC Gurukul batch. We still have seats available. As soon as you register for this batch, well, you and I will have a meeting together as soon as you register for it. Okay, on day 1, because we have to start your timetable on day 1. Start designing your timetable on day 1, basically. Okay, so if you want to register for this batch, well, the number is flashing at the bottom of the screen. Okay, just WhatsApp us on this number. Someone will reach out to you, and then we will fix an appointment for our session together. So WhatsApp us on this number. Okay, see you around.